We'd lost all hope, and then...
And then you swooped in out of nowhere to save us.
He would have killed us to feed his dragon.
Yeah.
Indeed. Masaranas, Lethalin.
Credit's not all mine. Thanks, Solus.
Weird as it sounds, we couldn't have done it without the God of Lies.
The sun rises until it doesn't. Celebrate the victories as they come.
Mm-hmm.
They're rare enough.
Yeah.
And tomorrow, we'll have to deal with another archdemon.
And it will have regained its strength. Elgar'nan sacrificed his own Venatori to it. A punishment for their failures. The Venatori who escaped scurried back to Deventer. The Veil Jumpers will fight our own battles against the gods. Any help you can offer would be appreciated.
Well played. 10. The Blood of Arlathan. The team rushed to Arlathan Forest to save Dalish elves from Venatori's sacrifice. There, they witnessed Elgar'nan awaken his dragon thrall. Lusican, once worshipped as the old god of night, Dalish blood would have been spilled to restore the dragon to full strength. But with Solus's help, Elgar'nan's plan was thwarted. With his captives lost, Elgar'nan was forced to sacrifice his own cultists to his dragon. As it should.
Might be a good time to see what Solus thinks of all this.
Yeah, but I also want to see what everybody else's stuff is. Stagger all enemies within 6 meters. That's a nice one. All mana is converted to ultimate for 10 seconds. All of your command's ability cooldowns are refreshed. That one's really good. We've got some really good stuff. Okay. The Arlathan Crater. Veiljumper report on the Arlathan Crater. Site of an ancient temple dedicated to Elgar'nan. His symbols are everywhere. Interesting inscriptions have been sent for study. Strong, lingering magic that feels tightly controlled, like water behind a dam. Wards somewhere? Manage to climb one of the floating towers. Seems stable. Might collapse if magic decays or wards are disrupted. Ireland reports feeling disturbed on drawing close to the lake shore. Further observation needed. Bellara's notes. Translated some inscriptions. Full translations attached. Found reference to a thing called Elgar'nan's Pride, resting in a place of honor. A weapon? A magical artifact? Temple was stripped of valuables by Deventer ages ago. Elgar'nan's Pride, whatever it is, probably long gone. Volunteering for next expedition. I want to poke at the wards and see the disturbing lake. In praise of Elgar'nan. From a wall inscription inside a ruined temple once dedicated to Elgar'nan, translated from ancient Elven by Bellara. Offer yourself to Elgar'nan, first of the firstborn, exalted amongst the lords of Arlathan. Drunk on adulation, we pour our praises like wine, to him who has domain over all, and to whom all glory is owed. For he is Lord of the day and night, who calls the moon and sun to him like doves, who commands the wind and the tides, who quelled an unquiet earth, and raised upon it a paradise. Note from Bellara, Mythal and Esti. He seriously thought all that about himself. Talk about creepy. I need a bath. Yeah, I'd want to take a shower after that, for sure. The Elven Gods in Deventer. Found on a fallen Venatori. Why should we feel shamed for following an elven god? Yes, our old gods were elven, and I say to you, so what? We have always known the elves possessed magical aptitude, surpassing even some of our altus. Their deficiencies lie not in their natural ability, but in their failure to recognize it and bring it to its fullest potential. Think on it. After the loss of their leader, the Elven Empire fell. All of their magic could not forestall their ruin, and Deventer took what was left and worked miracles. Now upon his return, Elgar'nan seeks out the Venatori, not the Dalish or any other elves. Raw power is worthless if not used artfully. Our Lord Elgar'nan understands this, and he honors the Venatori by choosing us. Remember that. This is insulting, right? Should I be insulted? Bellara, you should be. Nev. Nev's case notes Elgar'nan. What do we know? The Dalish tell the tale of how Elgar'nan overthrew the sun. Bellara says details differ depending on the clan. Told one way, Elgar'nan sought vengeance against the sun for burning the earth. In Bel's clan, Elgar'nan struck down the sun to bring the first night. Either way, defeating the sun gave him control over day and night. There's always a little truth buried in the legends, but never enough. The real story, or what we've put together, Elgar'nan was the greatest elven general. He led them to victory in their wars, then declared himself god and king. That's the control angle, but it wasn't enough, so he bound a dragon to himself and used the blight to take even more power. He was a tyrant who subjugated his followers, mind and body, demanding love and perfect obedience. And now he's back. Great. 43. Okay. What should I do? Plus 5 damage for each unique prime affliction on your target. Deal 20% more bonus stagger to enemies within affliction. That's a really nice one. I do love me some stagger. I do love me some stagger. Okay. Trying to see if there's anything here. Perfect defense grants shocking weapons while wearing a medium vitar and armor. Critical damage, final damage, interesting. Okay. Storm Surge. Interesting. Applies Overwhelm. That applies Overwhelm? Interesting. Detonate Sunder. Tempest. Alright. Lots of stuff. Weakening and dealing damage over time. Use longer range staff attacks to inflict necrotic damage. Okay. Thought I already highlighted this. Okay. Bellara, good girl. Let's do critical damage plus 25%, damage versus barrier plus 50%. Oh. Nobody's here. Harming and Lucanus.
Long night?
I'm still getting used to the dream thing.
Oh, the
What
dream
was your
thing.
dream about?
Tomatoes. Or maybe they were apples?
At least it wasn't the one where you show up to a job naked from the waist down.
I told her about that already.
Where did you put your extra knives?
I love how Lucanus turned to me as soon as she asked that question. Nev?
Arlathan went... Well, we got the Dalish out. We got out. But something bad is waiting for us. I can feel it.
I feel like you might be right. But we're gonna worry about it when we get there. It'll get to us eventually, I'm sure. No sense in panicking about it until then.
I thought you'd be happy your brother was being controlled by the Elven God.
He's not. Well, sort of. Anaris is a forgotten one. They're bad. Why would I be happy?
Because it's not his fault. He's not evil. Anaris is evil. Anaris is the one to blame.
I mean, he still made those choices, still allied with Anaris, put that mask on willingly. So, it's Not all his fault, but some of it is. He's responsible for what he does.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fair.
But now you know who to punch.
Right. I'm looking forward to it.
I am as well. Anaris needs to get every inch of his face punched. And every inch of his hiney kicked.
So you haven't seen it?
I could hardly miss your griffin leaving some half-chewed stick in my room.
Yeah. Son loves dragging it in here when you're not around.
He what?
I'm wondering if Varric has something new to say.
You've got allies from Rivain to Navarra now. If the enemy makes a move, they'll see it.
Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing to note. All right, Solus, you want to talk? Because we don't have any other. Yeah, we still have some side quests, but again, we'll get to those. So thank you. Thank you for coming through with us there, Solus. You're not so bad.
The Dalish prisoners escaped safely?
We got them away free and clear.
Good. Whatever my frustrations with them, it feels good to have helped my people again. Thank you for allowing me to help. A chance to infuriate Elgar'nan was a reminder of simpler times.
You said you found the Dalish frustrating. Why is that?
It is unfair to them. I lived for thousands of years, and after I imprisoned the Evanuris, I slept for thousands more. I awoke in a world that had forgotten the ancient times almost entirely. And those who tried to remember elven history, like the Dalish, had gotten so much wrong.
It's not their fault, though. I'm betting you argued. Yeah, it kind of hits me. That kind of hits me a little close to home because, as a Christian, I am a Christian. I feel like so many things in certain organized religions who also consider themselves Christian, I have a feeling that a lot of things nowadays they've gotten all wrong. I think that there are a lot of things that if I won't dive into too deep with it, but all I'm saying is I think there's so many things about many organized Christian religions that are getting so many things wrong from how they were supposed to be. So I feel like this is kind of a nod towards that. I'm betting you argued. They made you look bad, huh? Like worshipping Elgar'nan? I'm betting you argued.
Let me guess. You tried to tell them what they were getting wrong, and they didn't believe you.
There are few things that frustrate me as much as ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to
I'm the
explain
same
the
way.
truth to one clan. When I convinced them that I was truly Fen'Harel, they attacked me. After that, I hid my explanations behind the facade of having witnessed events in the Fade.
And one of the first lessons in the Mornwatch is that the Fade is reality as seen through a smoky mirror.
Yes. The Dalish had no reason to believe me. I could only watch as they continued to worship Elgar'nan. Though we may have seen the last of that tradition, at least.
Yeah. I'm honestly with Solus. Like, one thing that I have very little patience with is ignorance. And that's why I advocate so much about educating people, spreading awareness, trying to teach people things that they may be completely ignorant about, because it can just be so frustrating. And for me personally, based on recent events, which I'm not going to dive into very deeply, of course, you may have your own assumptions as to what exactly I'm referring to, due to very recent events as of this recording, if you can figure out around the time this was being recorded. I feel like we're in a state right now due to a lot of ignorance, and the ignorance may, to be fair, not necessarily be a specific individual's fault. It's not their fault that they're ignorant, but it's frustrating. It doesn't make it any less frustrating.
You and Elgar'nan were really tearing into one another back there.
I needed to goad him to anger in order to distract him. But yes, while all of the Evanuris were monsters in their own ways, Elgar'nan was the worst. Or perhaps it is more honest to say that his were the faults I've found most objectionable. You have met him now, heard his voice hammering at the doors of your mind, and you have met me. Can you see how he and I might frustrate one another?
You're like angry brothers.
The two of you are too much alike. Both of you want to be in charge.
I have no desire to be in charge.
No, you just want to be able to correct anyone who's not doing everything the way you would have done it.
I see you have been observing me as well during these conversations.
Good job, Rook.
All right. I can see how you and Elgar'nan would hate each other.
He has always been what I most feared becoming. Callous and uncaring, his arrogance unchecked. To have that much power and no one to remind him that he could be wrong.
Well, he had you.
And I suppose I had you.
To have that much power and have no one to tell you that you could be wrong. Have some very strong opinions about how much that hits way too close to home right now. And if you're wondering again, if you're still not figuring it out, I did comment on a previous video about how it was currently N7 Day. It was currently November 7th. So, November 7th, 2024. So, again, my personal, I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to dwell into it. I'm just going to move on. But just note, that's hitting me very hard right now, personally. You did want me to goad him.
Last time I got his attention, he got angry enough to come after us with the blighted dragons. Hopefully this baits him into a mistake we can use against him.
Every act of resistance is a thorn in his side. He will break soon. When we first met, I saw you only as a foolishly confident child who disrupted my plans. You were an irritant.
So were you.
I gave you information to oppose Elgar'nan out of necessity, but I expected you to be nothing more than a tool. Seeing you with your team, I was wrong.
Yeah, get used to that, Solus. You're not used to being wrong, are you? That had to be hard to say.
I'm impressed you got that out without choking on it.
If I could not admit when I was wrong, I would be no better than Elgar'nan.
Yeah, that's why we like you more.
Your team trusts you, and you listen to them. It is impressive and enviable.
Just like the Inquisitor.
It took me centuries to build such a bond during my rebellion. And when I served the Inquisition, I tried to avoid entanglements.
Yeah, and Ark did an excellent job of that as well. What about the Inquisitor?
What about the Inquisitor? Does he not count as a friend?
He does. One of several I grew fond of despite myself when I was with the Inquisition. There was also Cole, a spirit of compassion I helped adapt to our world.
And he became a spirit.
He was the only one who knew who I really was. I miss him a great deal.
Cole knew the whole time.
Josephine, the Inquisition's ambassador, was a bastion of kindness and decency in a world that looked down on elves and apostates.
Yeah, she was.
Even Cassandra Pendergast of the Order of the Seekers. She was what a believer should be. Faithful, practical, committed to serving, not ruling.
I loved Cassandra.
I suppose I did bond with the Inquisition after all.
as you have with your team. Thank you for sharing that. So what comes next? What are the gods going to do?
Elgar'nan and Ghilan'nain are preparing the dagger they will use for their ritual to pierce the veil. Elgar'nan's power is tied to light and darkness. He will need to perform a ritual during the next eclipse.
Oh,
that gives us some time to prepare.
Nice.
It is likely to be your last chance to do so. You must be ready for whatever comes, for this world and for the team that trusts you. I know that you will do everything in your power not to fail them.
I hope, yeah, so we're nearing the point of no return to get all of our side quests tidied up.
So now Elgar'nan's recovered his own archdemon, and the gods only need an eclipse to complete their dagger.
We saved the Dalish, though. That's important.
But now Elgar'nan's immortal, so long as his archdemon lives.
And we all know how hard those things are to kill.
We killed Razikale, didn't we?
After losing hundreds of wardens. And it took a centuries-old trap to do it. We don't have either of those. Not anymore.
Just when you think the tide's in your favor, it turns right back.
That's why we'll win.
We've done some great work underwater. You know why no one else can save the world except us? Why the Inquisitor told me it had to be us. Because we don't give up. Knock us down, and we come back swinging.
Nice speech, Rook. But it's hard to complete a contract if you don't know where the target is.
We found the gods before,
Not without help, we didn't.
so we get help again. We've got allies everywhere now.
What about the Venator? Ideas, anyone? How about the Veil Jumpers? Ideas, anyone?
I can think of a few options, but I'm open to suggestions.
Wardens have run dry. Nothing new is moving in the deep roads.
And the Veil Jumpers couldn't find any trace of Elgar'nan or his archdemon.
The crows may have something. The Antam are moving large quantities of supplies out of the city. Weapons, armor, gatlock. And food. About half are remaining provisions. Enough to feed the Antam navy.
Given the timing, it seems unlikely to be a coincidence.
Wherever those supplies are headed, that's likely where we'll find the gods. Any more details from the crows, Lucanus?
They said the Antam have long work ahead. We have time. Also, Biago would like a meeting. At your earliest convenience. From him, that means important, but not yet urgent.
Did Viago tell you how much time we have?
Days to weeks. Nothing more precise.
Well, that's our best lead so far. Track those supplies and we should find the gods.
Not to complicate things, but the Inquisitor also wants to meet Rook.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
With everything he's been doing in the south, we owe him an update.
I
I'll let him
want
know.
to. Good fighting today.
Today could have gone better, but it could have gone much worse. We fought off the Venatori and rescued the Dalish. That's a win by any standard. Rest up. And be ready to go. Next time the gods appear, let's make sure it's the last.
I feel like we're gonna get a flux of companion quests now. Book club notes. Second meeting. Notes for our second book club meeting. Attending Bellara, Nev, Harding, Emmerich, Lucanus. Book Mistress of the Scarlet Moon by Arian Sestes. Chosen by Harding. Notes taken by Bellara. Notes. Harding felt the archery scenes were very unrealistic. Spent 7 minutes demonstrating that the shots described were completely impossible. Broke 3 lamps. Emmerich thought protagonists made very realistic decisions. Felt that the number of songs in the book was excessive. Bellara, me, lost copy of the book halfway through reading it, was still able to guess the plot twist correctly. Nev commented that the book made her hungry, elaborated that it was not the blood. Lucanus felt the book accurately conveyed the boring parts of being an assassin, did not enjoy book. Dice rolled and Lucanus picks the next book. Alright. That's so entertaining. Freed from the Avenuris, today, in coordinated strikes along the eastern coast, the agents of Fen'Harel liberated slaves bound to Andruel. The slaves had their life forces cruelly bound to magical wards that were supposedly set to defend Arlathan against enemies from across the sea, but which were in fact being siphoned for Andruel's personal empowerment. These slaves are now free, recovering their strength and safety. People of Arlathan, the Avenurus would have you believe that such suffering is necessary, that your only worth is in service, and that they must bind you to protect you from outside aggression. They are lying. You are the strength of Arlathan, not them. When you see the truth and are ready, call to Fen'Harel and he will break your shackles. About the freed slaves. We got word from the warding sites, many dead, far more than the casualties we inflicted. The story being spread is that we killed everyone. Andruin's servants made examples of a few and claimed the Dread Wolf is trying to weaken Arlathan by attacking servants and destroying the wards. It's hard to tell what people really believe now. I know you're likely berating yourself reading this. Just remember the faces of the people we saved. We can't control what the Avenurus do. And yes, we have to keep playing up the Dread Wolf. The people need someone they believe is strong enough to protect them, or they'll never join us. Don't worry, I promise to mock you viciously if you ever start believing those stories yourself. Felasan. Okay. Quest over here. A letter from the Hosberg wetlands. Rook, we have continued to study changes in the Blight. Our latest findings are very interesting and disturbing. We can't let this spread continue. We'll catch up the next time you're in the wetlands. Antoine. Something's coming. Oh, what did I just say? Everyone except for Lucanus, because we already wrapped up Lucanus's companion quest. We're gonna have a field day. So let's start with Lucanus since he's all good. Not that we can, not that we're able to kiss or anything.
Rook, about what happened in the Fade, or my mind. If I trust my thoughts to anyone, it's you.
I know, sweetheart. No. What's going on, Davrin?
Rook, Evka and Antoine sent word. A warden's arrived at Lavendel with news. He might have a lead on Isaiah.
Then we've got to get to Lavendel.
Agreed. Thanks.
Lots of leads. Profane and the Lust. And I just jumped into my death again.
Rook, I've compiled the last reports from an informant. You remember our talk with Rana? She had a lead on Alia's location. A place called Sanctum Lucican.
A lost Tevinter temple, right? Does this mean you found it?
I'm pretty damn sure.
Alia's hideout. Not sure if I should be excited or worried. Either way, I'm there.
Worried. And I figured.
So, where is this place?
The Mirathas Catacombs, an underground temple to the god of night. It was sealed off and forgotten under a derelict building outside the Thread Market. I've had an eye on the catacombs. Alias haunted them before, but they span the city, endless twists, hidden passages. It's too much to sweep alone. Thanks to Rana's information, I was able to drop the right hints, ask the right questions. Now we've got a sanctum.
How are you feeling?
Are you ready?
Not much of a choice. Docktown's on edge. People are missing. The Threads are putting up a fight against Alia's followers, but they can't last forever. Alia's a powerful blood mage now. If I let her finish the ritual, no more chances.
So, what's our next move?
Meet at the Swan, put the last pieces in place after that. We'll see.
Okay. Yep. And Harding doesn't have one because... Oh wait, Harding does have one. Thought we were done with her quest. Maybe it's more of an outing.
Oh, that's not good. Not even a little bit. Rook, we have to go. We might already be too late.
Slow down. What's happening?
The artifact. Remember how I told you that I'd know if they started another ritual? They did, and it's big. Really, really big. Arlathan big, maybe.
Okay.
You sure?
Completely. Nothing else explains that resonance.
To Arlathan, then.
We really like going towards the bad thing instead of away from it.
It's not time for jokes, Rook.
Sorry.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry, but it's bad.
I get it. I get it.
Let's
You're
go stop
desperate.
them then.
Right. Let's hope they aren't very far along.
And if they've had the chance?
These rituals need an anchor with a physical body, so not a spirit or whatever Anaris is, which means Syrian. And there's only one way to free an anchor.
Then let's not waste any time.
Yep. I think all of these missions can be done in any order, but just based on how that conversation went in character, it feels like Bellara's is the most time sensitive, the most pressing. So I think realistically we would go for that quest next.
Hey, what's shaping?
No one says what's shaping anymore.
Really?
I thought it was a dwarf thing.
Yeah, if you lived in Orzammar 20 years ago.
I like that.
Wow, just trying to be nice, and what do I get?
Sass.
Aw, well, I appreciate it. And I'm doing okay. I think I just need some time to think and sort things out.
You can talk to your friends about it. I hear that helps.
It's already helping. You checking on me, I mean. I still remember every moment of it. Suffocating under the weight of the Titan's pain. I couldn't see a way past it. And all I wanted was for the rest of the world to suffer too. And then everyone was there. And that's when I knew we'd be okay. That I'd be okay.
I know you would have done the same for me.
You showed me that my anger doesn't have to destroy me. That it could be a gift in my fight.
That's right.
And yes, if you ever need me like I needed you, I will be there. That is my promise to you.
Thank you, Harding. Aww.
You know, I think about Solus sometimes. He's been trapped by his mistakes for eons. When you're blinded by sorrow and pain, you need someone to help you past it.
And didn't have that.
But he's too proud for that. He believes he's alone, even when he doesn't have to be.
Which I think is very interesting if I was playing in a world state where the Inquisitor romanced Solus. I'm wondering about that. Did you have to bring him up? No. Maybe it's up to us.
He'll never ask for help, but that doesn't mean we can't offer it anyway. Do you think he can be helped?
The Inquisitor and Solus were friends. I know he wants his friend back. He's reached out. All Solus has to do is take the offered hand, the simplest thing, and yet... No one's beyond help, Rook. No one.
I'd like to believe
I
that.
have to believe it. Or none of this matters.
Yeah. Zen has to believe it too. That's just him. That's his personality. He has to believe it. I enjoyed that conversation with Lace. So sweet. Returning to the stone. Harding's thoughts scribbled in the margins of her journal. They say we return to the stone after death. In Orzammar, only those laid to rest with the proper rites get to return to the stone. And the privilege of a good burial is reserved for the upper castes. No luck for the casteless or surfacers. Rejected by the stone, they say. But I'm a surfacer. The stone, whatever it is, hasn't rejected me. There you go. That's important. Just because other people think you're not worthy doesn't mean that you're actually not worthy. But if we do return to the stone, every single one of us, why can't I sense the others that have passed? That's a very interesting question. Very good question, which probably will never be answered until you actually die yourself. A warden future. There's never been a lot of writing about what happens after the last archdemon's fall. It was lifetimes away for the wardens before us, and our lives are shorter than most. I didn't think much about it either. It's sad in a way. People couldn't imagine a day it would end or that things would have a chance to get better. Not as a break between the last bad thing and the next. A chance for Thedas to recover for longer this time. Given all we've seen, maybe it needs that more than we know. The Blight's changed, so stopping archdemons won't end our work. Maybe that should still feel sad, but it doesn't. There's a world here to fight for, and we can win. Excerpt from Epka's journal. A small blue flower is pressed alongside it.
Hey, I got word from my mother. She wants to talk.
Ooh.
Have you talked with her since?
Nope, not since I told her I was non-binary. But her note said she wanted to talk about that tablet we found, the old Kunari one. Of course that's what she wants to talk about. We can go whenever you're good.
I'll let you know.
I'll let you know. Right now, Bellara seems to be the most dire. So, ooh, the lair of the Dragon King.
Mana, hello. I assume Vorgoth's not far.
We have her, Rook. We have her. We know exactly what she's planning.
The professor asked us to research the artifact that came into the possession of Johanna Hezenkos.
She carries a gloaming lantern.
We knew that, yes.
There you are.
They were fashioned in ages past by unscrupulous necromancers. The lanterns steal and concentrate life.
Johanna could use it to leech life from hundreds at a time. An endless source of power.
It's dangerous and dumb. That's ingenious. That's horrifying. That's dangerous and dumb. That's horrifying. I'm gonna say that's kind of ingenious.
I hate to say it, but it's sort of clever.
Johanna was never short on cleverness, but we found her.
She has returned to Blackthorn Manor.
Hezenkos intends to hold a soiree.
That can't be her whole plan.
No, but I propose a small group infiltrate Johanna's lair while she's distracted and destroy her lantern.
Let's do it.
Let's do
Vorgoth
it.
and I must return to the necropolis.
Hunt well.
If only we could make Johanna see reason.
You tried before. She seems stubborn.
Perhaps that's why she attained immortality, while I quake on the threshold. If I make my own bid for lichdom. Oh, it's no use pretending this hasn't stirred up that old dread of my own mortality.
We could also be having a normal reaction to facing danger every other day.
No, it shouldn't be this crushing, this prevalent. No. Johanna was never beset by these sort of fears.
Little fear's healthy. You'll feel better once we crash her lair and destroy that lantern. Promise.
So many missions, but the intensity of Bellara's was real. So I think we'll do Bellara, even though I really wanted to go see my Inquisitor really quickly. But I think, no, Bellara's like, we need to go now before it's too late. And then we'll go see the Inquisitor, and then we'll probably...
weirded out by this fade crap. But this part is kinda cozy.
Well, yeah, because you've been just hanging out this whole time, Varric. A path has emerged from the mists of the Fade that leads to a gathering point. Who should I bring with Bellara to fight Anaris? Does anyone jump out? Nobody jumps out at me as who would be narratively, who would make the most sense to go on this quest with us with Bellara. I wanted to see if the sounds that they make with each person is unique, but it doesn't sound like it's unique. I think each person, whenever you summon them, the sound of the sparkles behind them is just random. So I'm not really sure if there's a narrative. Anyone obviously would be a good choice from a narrative perspective, but the people with the lowest affinity right now are Tosh, followed by Nev. How about... I'll bring... I just really like bringing Tosh. Tosh is just so powerful. I like bringing her. And she just has very fun perspectives of things. I think with Tosh... Here's a good reason why I think bringing Tosh makes sense. They just had a conversation just now. Tosh and Bellara just had a conversation in Lighthouse, and Tosh was saying, hey, look, he's your brother, and I know that he's following Anaris right now, but ultimately Anaris is the one that you want to punch. And I feel like I kind of want... what I like about Tosh is she's very direct and blunt about things. She doesn't overthink things too much, and Bellara tends to overthink things too much. So I feel like, given this situation that she's about to find herself in, where she probably has to make a very hard choice, just throw in Tosh's influence will probably help a lot with her indecisiveness. Just be like, don't just go with your gut. Don't overthink things. Just go with your gut. Go with what your heart tells you is right. Which is essentially what Anaris told, which essentially is what Bellara told her brother to do the last time they spoke.
We need that report Irilyn was asking about.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
Rook, good to see you.
I'm ready. Let's do this. Bellara must stop Anaris when his ritual endangers all of the Arlington Forest, even if it means going against her own brother, Syrian. Let's do this, babe.
Do you feel that?
Yeah.
I do. Like a light fever, almost.
Feels like I'm being pulled apart, little by little. Ritual's already started. We don't have much time.
I'm sorry, Bellara. For what it's worth.
I guess I just thought... I thought maybe he'd listened, even if it took him a bit.
There's still time.
But he didn't.
It's not too late.
Let's go stop my brother.
There's still time. Don't give up on him yet. Zen's not going to. And Tosh doesn't seem to be giving up on him yet either. She of all people realizes...
Well. Statues of wolves. Made from gold, no less.
A lot of gold statues for a guy insisting he's not a god.
That sounds like him.
Tosh, of all people, knows what it's like having a family member disappoint you. So, again, another great reason to have them along in this adventure, in this mission. Nice. Let's get your ultimate...
Just imagine, tens of thousands of elves used to walk these streets.
Must have been something to see.
The seat of the Elgar'nan Empire. Until it was all destroyed by Tevinter Magisters and their blood magic.
Let's get your ultimate armor and skill. Alright. It's nighttime in Arlethan Forest. Because, of course it is.
So what is that feeling?
The tearing apart one?
That'd be it?
It's you being, well, torn apart. Just really slowly.
Ah. Right.
Great. June's Mirror. Bellara, Irilyn and I pored over all the collected evidence, and we can quite confidently say that the symbol carved into the lyrium fragment is that of June's, though a very early version of it. It makes sense for the Venuris known as the Crafter to have created the first Illuvian, and what you found does seem to indicate that he used a single lyrium crystal split perfectly in two, each piece resonating with its counterpart to link the mirrors. Your ambition is admirable, but I don't think we should attempt to build an Illuvian from scratch at this very moment. This fragment you found feels different from the lyrium we know. Something to do with its age, perhaps? Or perhaps it was enchanted by June in some way. Hard to say. We will discuss this further on your return. Strife. Over those rings. Skin of yarn. Watcher's hold. Applies necrosis to nearby enemies. Yep. That's fine. I apply necrosis quite often, thank you.
Okay, I was expecting a bridge here.
Nope. Got another plan?
Do you see those lyrium reserves by that opening? There should be matching anchors on our side. Let's try linking them.
Let's give it a try. Wow. It's amazing any of the city's still standing.
Not just standing, floating.
Have to get up there somehow. Then we can move that, and then we can move it back. Got it. Now we're good. Oh. I was like, why did it build and then come back?
The ruins are in good shape. Usually everything's falling apart except for one big altar with a glowy thing on it.
Wild magic is like wild weather. It can flatten the building next door and leave you completely untouched. That's what makes it dangerous. It's unpredictable.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, the feeling's strongest here.
Maybe it's being caused by that crystal over there.
I think you're right. Let's check it out.
Spike. Substance. From a scroll found in the ruins, translated from Elven by Bellara, Atrahel returned today with the rest of the expedition. Most of their spoils were the usual gewgaws and filth, but one item caught my attention, a substance collected in one of his specimen vials. It had the consistency of blood, yet glowed yellow with an inner light. I find myself drawn to it. There is power there. I have no doubt, power that Atrahel is far too witless to see. But the power is a sort with which I have no familiarity. It is cold, for one. Ice forms at the vial sides, even in the warmth of the afternoon sun. Yet there is more to it than a simple chill. I cast several spells on the substance to ascertain its nature, and once I removed it from Atrahel's possession, an easy task with one as dull as he, but the magic simply vanished as if consumed. When brought near any active magical ward, unless said ward had been cast with tremendous power, it sputtered and disappeared. A magic that devours all others would be a powerful weapon. If I could channel and master that energy, no longer would I need to hide. I could strike back against the Evanuris, bring low those arrogant fools, and claim what is rightfully mine. The word devour shows up elsewhere too, very specifically that word, Bellara. Don't know if I can reach this. I don't think I can make that jump, but I'm gonna try! Nope. It looked like I could. It looks like I could have made that jump. They didn't put an invisible barrier on it. So it must have been a Neris. You're gonna work your mojo?
Okay. The feeling's strongest here. That hum means this thing is amplifying the magic, sending the ritual over a wider area. Destroying this will buy us time. Or it should.
Enough time to stop Syrian. Let's do it. You know what's next. Then let's do it. Stay positive.
Right. We need more time to find the ritual.
And Syrian.
He didn't give us much of a choice.
No, he didn't, did he?
We need to get moving.
Right, okay. Be ready. This is gonna attract some attention.
I'm good with attention.
Here comes the first wave!
Say that like you know there's gonna be a second wave.
When hasn't there been a second wave?
Electricity, eh?
forces.
Another sentinel? Fine. Oh, fine. Go for it. Staggered. Stay down.
Tuck it down, please. Ranged incoming.
And destroy the amplifiers. There we go.
Ready to go.
Give me some electricity. Storm Sphere, Thunderclap. Spirit Caller. Actually. Yeah, Spirit Caller. Let's get another wave. Stay put. Crack that one while I get the other. While I get the other thing. Do you mind